could stand for the pledge, please. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. There we go. Okay, it's on board and making sure there's no one else. I have had a request for public comment. I don't see her here yet, but I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add public comment. I was going to add it as 1A in hopes that she will be here. If she comes, then we'll bounce back to one. Oh, here she is. We were just amending the agenda. Okay, so I have the motion to agenda to 1A. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay, so approved to adjust it. So we have added public comment at this point in time. So you have the floor for like 3 minutes. You can start us off, definitely. And like I said, for 3 minutes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Thank you. So Constance Royster, 4 Fairwood Road, Bethany.
Does she want to come over here?
You can go with-
I think, yeah, if you broadcast to the masses, and looks like there's one.
The owls watch.
There's only one on the last. Okay, go visit.
So Constance Royster, 4 Fairwood Road, Bethany, Connecticut. All right, so as we approach the 3rd year of the pandemic, Bethany has made a few, but not enough strides toward making town government accessible and transparent. I request that more effort be made to find ways to keep the townspeople informed of meetings, actions, and matters decided or under consideration by selectmen and committees or commissions. When was it announced that meetings of selectmen and other town committees or commissions would be simultaneously available on Zoom? How was it announced? Which committees or commissions are available on Zoom? This information is worthy of loud and repeated public reminders. Consider reformed announcements to the town about meetings. How are announcements about committee and commission meetings broadcast to the town? Decide the best multiple ways and let the town know. The newsletter, Facebook page, what else? Is the Facebook page a town page or something else? Use it for notices of and cancellations of meetings. I specifically came to a meeting of the Economic Development Commission on December 27th. And that meeting was nowhere to be found in this building. The newsletter should be used for information important to the community. Does anyone really care that Robin baked a ham? But they might want to know that the facilitation job has been filled. Does that raise a conflict of interest? I submit here an example of what I regard as an informative town newsletter. If pretty much all we have to talk about is holiday parties and snow plowing. Those who want to know what's going on are left with the impression that nothing, no work is being done in town by the selectmen or any other committee or commission. And in that category of doing something for the town, how about advocating for Bethany with Frontier to get fiber optic? Seymour got it, where is Bethany on the list? If Bethany is a town meeting form of government, you should all be encouraging participation by an informed electorate. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
I don't know who else it wants to.
You can give it to me. That's fine. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is approval of the December 6th, 2020 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes? Second, any questions, comments, corrections to those minutes? I'm just waiting on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already said it. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, seeing no comments, questions, or concerns, may I call for a vote to approve the minutes? All in favor, aye, and so approved. Tax refunds, I do have a list here that Fran gave me this afternoon.
Okay, I make a motion
Tax
for
refunds.
tax refunds in the total amount of $7,585.40.
And there are seven, I believe, seven returns listed. So do I have a second?
Second,
Okay,
yeah.
any other questions or comments? I'll call the vote for approval of the tax refunds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous on that, thank you so much. We do have two cemetery deeds that Will presented. One is for Sharon Morrow, and they have purchased, actually, these plots were purchased in 2018. We are now just getting to the deed for the 8 plots. So may I have a motion to approve so I can sign this cemetery deed for Sharon Morrow for 8 plots?
Second that.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Okay, that takes care of that one. Second one is for Richard and Ruth Barnes. This is for 1 plot in lot 44 of section C. At Carrington Cemetery. May I have a motion to approve the signing? Liz seconds. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Perfect. I'll take care of those tomorrow with Will. We are still waiting on documentation for Clifford Drive, so we will have to table this. Once again, the ball is in their court, so to speak, to get the paperwork that we need in order to approve acceptance of it. So that one is tabled. Give to the sign, give to the town about the sign, that's still tabled at this point. I have not been able to make contact and let the person know that the sponsor would actually be responsible for upkeep of the sign.
They don't know yet.
They do not know yet, so,
Oh,
okay. Leslie, I don't know if you want to give us some updates on the grants, please.
Our training session with the ladies from Scrog has been postponed because of the flu, so we're working on a new date to have that training session. So after that training session, then I will have a much better idea to move forward as far as an actual policy that the town may want to adopt as its standard operating procedure in regards to grants. Everything else is in a wait and see, a holding pattern for contracts to come from the various agencies.
So, yeah.
did we hear from Delora?
Yes,
Okay,
it is law. The money is reserved for us.
We just waiting on instruction, basically how to use it and how to obtain it and.
Yep, we're waiting on all the
procedure.
instructions because the original paperwork that said we were getting the grant said it was for Center Station. What we saw what was signed into law says it's for Town Hall. So we don't know what Rosa did.
So we're not quite sure. We have to clarify, yeah. Yeah, it's,
So we're guaranteed the $1 million. for renovation, we just don't know what facility is being renovated.
Do we have input to decide that, because they said one or the other, they couldn't.
Well, I don't.
We're gonna try to get that.
We asked for both,
Right,
money for both,
Yep.
and when it came through, it was only Center Station.
They
right.
said
Then the other
one
day,
address.
the heads up that we got, the award was granted, said Town Hall.
Yes.
So right now, when the paperwork comes, we'll know if it was Town Hall, Center Station, both, either, whatever.
Yes.
We don't know until the paperwork comes.
If it's town hall, how are we gonna do it? What would it be used for here? We have to discuss that to be.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. That will be discussed.
If it's Center
Okay.
Station, we have to hire an architect, get some ideas, see what the architect thinks, see what the townspeople think, whatever.
Because you've gone
it's
through the
Town
building,
Hall,
so you've
yes,
seen it.
yes.
yeah.
Basically, the same thing in Town Hall.
I have some concerns about moving our public safety away from town hall. Just for, is Dave Merriam gonna be there too?
He,
Most likely.
right now, nothing is set in stone. Dave, as far as I'm concerned, he'll maintain an office in both buildings.
How often is he here? During the-
It varies, because if he's doing road work, if he's up at the school doing anything with the school, so he's not here 24/7.
Hmm.
He's in and out on a daily basis.
I know,
He has an
I
office at the school.
just concerned about security in this
He
day
has
and
an
age.
office at the
Yeah.
school, he does road work, he does all kinds of different.
He has an office at the school too?
They might give
He
him
maintains
like a small.
Yeah, he doesn't have a big office on, but he maintains his building.
Is he,
Position at the
is he
school.
work for us for 40 hours a week or part-time?
He's 40 hours, but part of his assignment is with the school, because he's security for both, so. But, yeah, so we just have to wait for the paperwork.
I wonder about that building. I keep looking at it thinking. I mean, it's not utilized by CERT whatsoever. And having two constables use it and refurbishing the whole thing for them,
But we have 5 constables.
or five,
Yeah.
excuse me, five.
Yeah.
It
I'm
all-
sure
it all-
does
it all
use it.
depends on the language of the grant. The language that we saw originally said public safety only, Central Station. So that's what the money's used for. If the language comes back different, then we'll use it for something different.
We have public safety stuff. We could still use it here on if we want to call the whole thing public safety and. I just don't want to throw away good money on, I understand there's a need for the constables to be somewhere.
And sir, it'd be nice for them to actually have something a little more,
That's right,
Because
yeah,
it would.
going into, to address CERT, going into the budget, I met with Mike Katzmort today. And he has visions, as the emergency management director, he has visions for enhancing the visibility of CERT and what they will be doing going forward.
Good.
So to improve the building and meeting space for them is not necessarily a bad thing, given his vision as the emergency management director and what we should be doing as an overall emergency management plan for the town.
Right.
So,
Well, I used to be uncertain, so
you understand,
yeah, I get
yeah.
it. So it's
Yeah.
not, so.
Yeah. But, so it's just, but like I say, it's now a matter of sit and wait for further direction.
Well, I guess all I'm saying in a nutshell is. We don't get these funds every day
All right.
and.
If there's stipulations, if there's no stipulations, then we'll figure it out. If there's stipulations on the
Yeah,
grant.
then we have to go by their
then we do what we
guidelines,
gotta
yeah.
do. If the grant, the last thing we heard officially was Center Station, emergency services only.
Until until the notice came out from Rosa DeLauro's office and the towns were listed with their projects. And then
I heard about Woodbridge and they're doing their town hall. At least maybe I thought I heard that, so.
it depends on
We'll
what
see
they
the
applied
paperwork
for
comes back
too,
at.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we originally had applied for both. And then we were told there could only be one address.
I know.
So that's when they put it to public safety. And then when the announcement came out a couple of weeks ago and it listed the town of Bethany, town hall renovations, and I was like,
Again,
that's not what they originally told us, so.
Are we having conversations? Are we getting something in writing? And
That was from their office, that was from Rosa's DeLauro's office.
But I mean, is it verbal? I mean, and talking to different people.
it was just an announcement, a generic announcement that so much money was handed out to so many towns and Woodbridge got this and Bethany got for town hall and Seymour got for whatever
And,
sidewalks.
but I
or
mean,
whatever.
before that, the conversation is said, can't be between two.
Yes, there was the conversation, that,
individual
yep, I
person,
talked with,
point
it
of
was
contact.
Lou Mangini, who was the gentleman in her office that was helping me
He should
try to get
know.
the application and everything together, and we had the two pieces, and he said, no, we have to coordinate it to one address.
It's very disappointing,
public
but hopefully that's
safety,
not the case.
So we'll just,
Yeah,
If that's the case, then we live with it. If that's not the case, then we'll do it. If
Okay.
that's the case,
unless we can make some kind of plea to them to
It's
split it or
confusing.
something,
It's
or, you know,
confusing.
so it was, yeah.
And
little-
Cabrera's straightened out too, so that's.
We're still
okay.
waiting on his as well. It's a sitting, you know.
we filled out,
Hurry up and wait.
we filled out the survey monkey that they sent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Trillions of dollars worth of grants to use in survey. monkey. That tells you something.
Welcome to the state. It's okay. But, all right, so that's where we are.
Mhm.
Okay. Simpson property, we are just waiting for the actual closing date, so we anticipate hopefully the end of this month that will be done. Other items, I do have one thing I just want to bring to your attention, that the Griegers have submitted an application for a tax abatement for their new property on Amity Road. The application has been forwarded over to the Board of Finance, who discussed it at their December meeting, but they have requested some additional information. So that will be on their agenda again for next week with regard to, and then if it's approved, if they approve it, they will recommend it back to us for final approval, and then we will do an agreement with that, with the Griegers. Okay, so I'm just getting that on record, that you're aware of that, so it doesn't come back as a surprise.
Okay.
And then,
Yep, go ahead.
okay, what I am gonna need to do at this point right now is make a motion, or request that we make a motion to go into executive session, which I will stop the recording. And we will go into the commission room. This is with regard to the union contract. Okay, this is. compliance and-
Can I have another thing before the board, before we do that? Or do you want me to
Okay.
do it after?
Well, at
Before
least if we have the
executive.
motion to go into executive session, then we'll move when we're done with your item, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
we're all in approval to go into
So I think-
executive session
Your
after.
motion to-
Yes.
Okay, we'll take your
Um,
item and then we'll go into executive.
just wanted to say that I think that I'd like us to be more proactive about property and what's happening around town. In particular, I know that you didn't sign off on the EPA grant, okay? Nonetheless, most town halls, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of town halls have records of environmental assessments and stuff, or access to them. And if they're prominent properties, they want to know because they can market them and do something with them. We don't know what the status is of many of these properties, like one right near me, which is the old firing range, Olin, big, huge corporation. We don't know what the status is of the one across from Ladder Creek. That should be cleaned up now, but I'm not sure. And we can write a letter, you and I and you, and sign off on it and request from these corporations, what is the status we want to know? And we can also copy DEP at the same time. With Greenhaven over here, there's a sign up there now. There's a Wallingford company who is a well-known company, good company. What are they doing with the property?
We haven't received any.
Well, you can ask Iron Bank, what are your intentions? I just want to go on the record with some of these things that we're interested. So we know, I mean, before my time, Yale got involved with some stuff, hanky panky, wanted to dump the
Oh,
urban
right.
waste over here. That's not cool. Okay, so I think that we need to do this, we can write little distinct letters saying, please give us the status of this. They can make you go through all their
I
attorneys
think
they want. but
Will
we
may
should.
have a list of the properties, so we can follow up. with
I
him and-
know that there had been about 4 in town that were legitimate brownfield sites that were cleaned up or were in the process. And again, this is something I used to do a little bit, so I know that the law in Connecticut is mushy, says you have to start cleanup, it doesn't say you have to finish it. Okay? So we'd like to know. Right?
All right, I'm
Just,
gonna,
and also like the solar Thing too, same thing. I
Have
know
not,
you
have
did.
not
that.
heard a word, we have not heard another word on that solar farm.
It's out of our hands.
Nobody knows?
No, I mean, because we would find out, I believe, if the application was processed, but I have not heard a word at all. I think, I don't know if they got enough feedback from the residents at the Connecticut Siting Council. But there hasn't been one peep since that original meeting.
The last thing is that for grants, I'd like to be using it for technology, including recycling center. And I know Eric came last meeting and he made a presentation. And we ought to include these things and follow up on them.
I know
So-
that Eric also met with Leslie, Eric and Bruce
Good,
met with Leslie,
good, good.
so.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
specifics like, okay, if you want this, then how much does it cost? Where can we get it? What does it look like? What do other towns have?
Oh,
Signage, all that business.
It's a
because-
process and there's a lot of information to gather and assess. So, yes, we are.
But we ought to catch up and do those things.
Right.
We could save money, for one thing, it could be economically,
Yeah.
the way to go.
Yeah.
If not the right thing to do.
Okay.
All right.
Are we okay so that I can freeze this? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording at the